Hi, everybody. Al Bernstein with another edition of Quick Hits, part of our boxing hangouts. And on this Quick Hits, we're going to talk about a fight just announced, which is the fight between Amir Khan and Devon Alexander, which will take place in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay on December 13th. A fight that may sound familiar because it was supposed to happen last year, and then Khan pulled out of it thinking he was going to get the Floyd Mayweather fight. That instead went to Marcos Maidana. Maidana had a rematch with Mayweather, and Amir Khan was left to have a fight on the Mayweather card, in which he performed extremely well and really showed people that his skill set is still very good. But Khan has not had a major fight that he wanted during the course of this past year. This fight against Alexander is either an interim fight to get him to Mayweather, or it's going to be his big fight for the foreseeable future. In any case, I think most people believe that Khan-Alexander is an intriguing matchup. But what I want to mention first is a fight that's on the undercard. It's a triple header, actually. And one of the fights that's intriguing is Demetrius Andrade, who has the WBO version of the 154-pound championship, is taking on Jermell Charlo, one of the Charlo twins. Both of the Charlo twins are undefeated, two excellent fighters from Houston, Texas. And this represents, I think, quite a challenge for Demetrius Andrade. He wants to show the world that he is elite at 154, that he's not just a title holder at 154 pounds. And a win over Jermell Charlo would surely do that. Now, Charlo, at age 24, is coming in off a very good win, and before that, a win over Gabe Rosado in a fight that I thought would be very difficult for him. But he handled Rosado really with ease in that fight. And he's, of the two Charlo brothers, he's the least powerful of the two. He's much more of a boxer-puncher type, but he is a very, very skilled fighter. As for Andrade, he's a skillful young man, a former Olympian, and I think that fight at 154 pounds on that card is really going to be an excellent fight. Keith Thurman will be seen on that card. So far, they haven't been able to find an opponent for him, and there's a good reason. Nobody really wants to fight Keith Thurman, do they, Dan Parks?
No, sir. No, nobody wants any of that.
And it's one of those things where, you know, we always say fighters are avoided, but I think in this case, all the fans, and your voice very much represents boxing fans. I think fans really get that, don't they?
He's a very dangerous man, you know, and I think that it's going to be a while before we're going to see anybody really want to step up and take on that challenge of Keith Thurman.
I just had a conversation today with a friend of mine who's a very fine trainer and manager down in Louisiana of boxers, and I brought up Keith Thurman, and he said, you know, I think Keith Thurman right now would be the best opponent for Floyd Mayweather. I agree. Now, I did a blog on the boxing channel, which I talked about. It's necessary, though, for Keith Thurman, in my opinion, to fight a top fighter before he goes in against Mayweather, even though from a skill set standpoint and what he brings to the ring, he would be a very difficult opponent for Mayweather. Anyway, first he'd like to get in a major fight and win a championship, maybe depending on who they come up with for December 13th. Maybe that'll help him do it. As to the main event, Amir Khan coming in, he fought very well against Luis Collado in the last his last fight, and it was just a superb performance. And Luis Collazo, I'm sorry, and it was an excellent performance. And as you look at the numbers on Amir Khan, you know, still only 27 years old. We think he must be older, right? Because he's been around for so long, and he's had so many ebbs and flows in his career. But at the end of the day, everyone knows he is a skilled boxer, and that's the key thing he brings into the ring, and looked very good in his last fight. The man he's facing, Devon Alexander, interestingly, also at 27, he is somebody that also feels like they've been around for a long time, but both those fighters still right in their prime ages, but both have suffered setbacks, and so they feel maybe to boxing fans like they may be damaged goods, in quotes, if you will, from time to time, or people that are desperate for a win. This is really a good matchup. I like this matchup a lot because Devon Alexander, very much in need of a win. Amir Khan, knowing that another loss for him would set him back dramatically. And they exist in a division that is certainly one of the best in boxing. Now, the two men, and you saw it in the numbers that you saw, except for one being a lefty and one being a righty, physically they are essentially the same. Perhaps the biggest difference is quickness. Khan is a very quick fighter, and his movement is impeccable. Devon Alexander used to have better movement. In recent fights, not so much. But here's the kicker, right? We know that at any moment, Amir Khan could be hurt in the ring. Collazo wasn't able to do it. He's not a real big puncher. But Devon Alexander has enough pop in his punch that he could hurt Amir Khan. And that, I think, at the end of the day, is the intrigue in this fight. Because Khan is clearly very good. He's a superb boxer, but we know always he's vulnerable. And I think this matchup is going to be a very intriguing one. In fact, I like the whole triple header. I'm going to be privileged to broadcast it on Showtime. And that match is part of what is looking like a very good last quarter of the year for boxing. A number of great fights are on tap on all networks, and this is one of them. And I think that should be a very good triple header. And I'm very, very curious, as I think other fans are, to see how Khan and Alexander match up in that ring. And the other fight, as I mentioned, the Andre Jermell Charlo fight, has the potential to be a very interesting fight. And we always want to see Keith Thurman in the ring. So that's for December 13th at the Mandalay Bay. It's a home game for me here in Las Vegas, and I will be on the call on Showtime, and we'll have plenty more here on our Google Hangouts before that match. So for Dan Parks, our producer, and my friend, we'll see you next time.